First of all, I thank the Almighty for this day, and I wish each and everyone present here today a very happy Kohima Press Club Foundation Day. And it is indeed an honor and privilege to stand before you as the chairperson at this Angami Public Organization Conference Hall for the 24th Kohima Press Club Foundation Day, marking not only another milestone in the history of our very own family, but a reminder of the invaluable role that we as press people play in the society. It was on this day in 2001 that editors, publishers, and reporters of different newspaper establishments in the state capital humbly came together to start a journey to work for our welfare, those in media fraternity. Over the past 24 years, the Kohima Press Club has stood united in all aspects while endeavoring to keep the community informed on any matter.
In 2001, a few journalists based in Kohima came together to form the Kohima Press Club at a time when there was no proper press body to protect and promote the rights of journalists. Since then, the Kohima Press Club has gradually grown over the years, and today we have a strength of 68 members from both print and electronic media. As we celebrate our Press Club's Foundation Day today, we remember and pay tribute to the pioneering members and our former leaders for their efforts and valuable leadership. It is their far-sightedness which had only steered the Kohima Press Club to where it stands today. 24 years on, we are yet to have our own permanent building, which is quite dismal, but we remain hopeful. Let me put it on record that the Kohima Press Club acknowledges and appreciates the state government for allotting a plot of land in new secretariat area for construction of KPC building. We also remain hopeful by the historic announcement made by the Chief Minister Nipurio last year to construct a permanent press club building at the state government allotted site. We are pursuing the matter on paper, on priority, and as per the last update we received, the state government has assured to take up the construction matter in the upcoming new fiscal year. We look forward on the trust and commitment of the state government in making the new press club building into a vibrant media center in the state capital, with the facilities to even cater to visiting journalists from outside Kohima. Today, our 24th Foundation Day is a landmark occasion as it heralds a new chapter in the history of Kohima Press Club. Starting from today, all the KPC activities in the next 1 year shall be undertaken as a part of the 25th anniversary year, signaling the beginning of our 25th year celebration. the Executive Council has decided to launch our own much-needed website. The official honors will be done by our special guest shortly. The objective of having our own website is to establish our online presence in today's ever-expanding digital landscape, and also to provide information about our objectives and activities. We aim to enhance the credibility of the press club through the website while promoting professionalism. The website will contain the history, objectives, programs, projects, and activities of the Kohima Press Club, and also act as our digital archive. We have our web designer here with us today, Mr. Leo Kikon. If you can stand up and can you please welcome him? Thank you. Well, friends, we all know that the tenure of the present Executive Council is due to expire in July this year, and we look forward to a smooth transition as the time for a change of guard approaches, and we assure you all our best support and cooperation during the transition period. On this occasion, I would like to remind each of us of our Kohima Press Club motto, to serve, and I call upon all members to rededicate yourselves to the profession, to serve the society, and to continue to uphold the ethics of journalism. As a whole, our fraternity needs to mainstream our concept on how to be catalysts of truth, justice, and development. Despite many shortcomings, the Kohima Press Club has come far, but there is still a lot to be done. As members of the Fourth Estate, we will continue to face daunting situations in our professional lives, but we have to maintain our credibility by upholding the ethics of journalism and promote a responsible media landscape. Thank you.
Life is too short, here and now, and you're only given one shot. Could there be more? Have I lived before? Or could this be all that we've got? If I die tomorrow, I'll be alright, because I believe that after we're gone, Spirit carries on. Frightened of dying, I used to think that was the end. That was before, I'm not scared anymore. I know that I'll hold transcend. I may never find all the answers, I may never understand why, I may never prove what I know to be true, but I know that I still have to try. If I die tomorrow, I'll be alright, because I believe that after we're gone, Spirit carries on. Move on! Your memories of me disappear.
I'm thrilled to be here because this is an opportunity for me to get together with old friends, Jonas, Emilio, Chetri, Vincent, Cobbs, Atu, Meadow, Will, Alice, of course, Narayan, of course. It's a nostalgic moment for me to be here with you all because in the year 2004, after I departed from Nagaland on an assignment to Goa, I have more or less lost the privilege of being associated with our Kohima Press Club and the press fraternity. I'm reminded of the years when journalism was more or less in a very nascent stage. Cobbs and Chizoko, they were with the Northeast Sun since the late 80s, I imagine. And the brief and the first stint that I have had with journalism was with the Naga Banner that was started way back in 1991 by my very good friend, late Jack T. Chagisang. And of course, the associate editor was also late Vilekol Mekro. It was a broadsheet paper and the first offset printing press owned by former Chief Minister Mr. Vamuzo, late Mr. Vamuzo. And at one point of time, it did a roaring business, and it was quite successful, but because of political compulsions, I imagine, it couldn't survive for long. In the early 90s, I also embarked on a small venture to start a monthly news magazine called The Scribe. But it was more or less a one-man show, and the writing part was okay, but then the marketing part suffered. If I had met Mr. Chetri those days, it could have been a different story. And most of you were not around then, but well, I enjoyed even though it wasn't profitable, I enjoyed running that simple and humble news magazine. Then after that, I was associated with the Nagaland Journal, a news weekly tabloid, which was run by my guru, I should say, late Rieto Thomas Jasoke. And at one point of time, it was quite popular. It was quite successful, I should say. And I still consider the Nagaland Weekly Journal as my springboard to what I am now. It was through that paper that the politicians got to know my name, and then they got in touch with me. And then before the politicians got in touch with me, I was approached by our Tinime Union leaders, especially by the father-in-law of our Chief Minister, Mr. late O. Katipri, and Cobbs Crome's father, Mr. Wesley Crome, and Charlie Sekose's father, Z.M. Sekose. And from a very young age, I was associated with elderly, wise, sagacious gentlemen. And like I said, the politicians also got to know my name through the local media, and they approached me and took me into political activities. And when I was 29, I got associated with the Chief Minister of Nagaland as his press secretary, and the rest is history. Now I'm more or less a nobody running the affairs of a small village called Sovima in Chumugidima district. But like I said in the beginning, this today is a nostalgic moment because I'm reminded of many, many friends, very good writers, very good reporters, journalists who are no longer with us. I especially remember my very good friend Jack T. Chaisang, who passed away just a couple of months back, and also I'm sure most of you have heard the name of Xavier Rutza, whom I considered as my younger brother, but as an encyclopedia of Naga political history, I should say. Because whenever, the few times that I start writing articles, when I'm at a loss as to which year or which month or which date, which politician toppled the government or who was who in Nagaland politics. He was a very rich library, and he had the names and the incidents and the dates and the months and the weeks and the years at his fingertips. He was always forthcoming, but unfortunately he passed away at a very young age. And also, I think Jonas and Kopilo will know Lelia Legise. He was also a very good writer, a very good commentator on Nagaland politics, and also Rieto Jasuke, a very bold editor, publisher of the weekly journal. Then again, I'm also reminded of my very good friend Kaka Iralu, whom I considered as my library as far as Naga political issue or the history of Naga political movement was concerned. He was a very good friend of mine, and we were poles apart in the sense that I have always been for Indian nationalism, whereas he was for Naga nationalism. Even though we didn't see eye to eye, we were both agreed, and we told each other that I don't subscribe to your school of thought, but I'll be the first to lay down my life to let you have the freedom of expression, freedom of belief. I mention him because he was also a walking encyclopedia for Naga political movement. Whenever I write some commentaries or face some doubts as to the year or the names of Naga political leaders, I phone him up, and it was he who used to give me details. And as a matter of fact, that his first book, Blood, Tears, and Sweat, yeah, I think it was called that, he brought it to my office when Naira and me, we were running the Northeast Herald, Chetri and all. Vincent was also there with me then I think. Kaka Iralu brought his manuscript in floppy disks, not in pen drive. We didn't have the luxury of the pen drives and the CDs in those days, floppy disks. He brought almost a dozen floppy disks for me to go through and asked me to edit. I read a couple of pages, but I didn't quite, I couldn't put my thoughts into it because of the simple reason that, like I said, we didn't share the same school of thought. Anyway, times have changed. In 1998, no, 99, I think, when we started the Northeast Herald, we were quite a good team. Cobbs, even though he was with Northeast Sun, he used to also contribute. Then I think Narayan was also one of the first batches who joined me. Then Chizuko was always there, my mainstay. And well, anyway, we had fun in the sense that even though we had to work up till 10, 11, the news section, from there onwards, the printers, they took over. Then early morning, Chetri and his party used to take over. We suffered a lot, but then at the same time, we had quite memorable times together. And I think Atu also had accompanied me several times on tours covering political meetings and functions almost all over Nagaland. And I've been privileged to have been to almost all the subdivisions of Nagaland and to many, many villages. So even these days, when I meet any friend or any people from the ENPO or from any district, I used to ask from which village they are from. And when I recall or narrate to them where the village is located or who their main leaders are, they used to be quite surprised that I know so many villages, so many headquarters, but I'm privileged to have all these experiences because I was also once upon a time a journalist. And those days we didn't have the luxury of having our correspondents in all the district headquarters. And most of the important programs from here in Kohima we had to cover. So one day ahead of time, we used to travel by, I think, not less than 8, 10 of us used to fill up in a gypsy. We used to cover, and knowing the Nagaland roads, dusty roads, we used to fail to recognize each other when we get down from the vehicle because of the dust. And during monsoon, during the rainy season, it was a different story altogether. But anyway, those were fun days. Now times have changed. Like I said, when we used to go to, say, for example, Mon, after the function, we used to rush to Community Information Center, CIC, ask the operators to open up the internet and for us to file our stories, mail it. And those days, it used to be, we used to dial a telephone number, and then after several minutes only, we used to get connected. Anyway, those, I don't know whether I'll get to listen to that dialing tone again. But yeah, those were fun days. Now, you guys, the younger generation, you are privileged, or even us older generation, we are privileged to have not computers, but the laptops or the PCs, but computers on our own mobiles. We can file our stories from there, access the internet from our mobiles. But once upon a time, internet was a luxury. In 1998 or 99, our Science and Technology Department, they installed one internet provider thing called Nagaland website or something, and the subscribers were limited. And I think a total of not even 500 in Nagaland could access that. But being the press secretary to the chief minister, I was privileged to be given a connection, and it was a very enriching experience for me those days. And well, those days the print media was the all in all. And All India Radio was there, Doordarshan was there, but then, like I said, they also didn't have their correspondents in the major districts, and All India Radio, they also had to depend on the local papers for their stories. They're, I think, most of the time, they're 24 hours late, a day late or so. Doordarshan was also more or less the same, I think. But nowadays you have, it's just telephone call away to get news from any corner of the state. But once upon a time it wasn't like that. And so far in Nagaland we're still dependent on the print media. But slowly in the last couple of years, I see the proliferation of YouTubers and like in the West, I think print media will unfortunately slowly go down and YouTubers will take over. And yes, when we started KPC, we didn't have internet, mobile phones as of now, so YouTubers were out of the question. But now that YouTubers have made their presence felt, frankly speaking, before going through the local papers, also the day prior to that or the evening prior to that, we get to know almost all the information that we get to read in the paper the next day. So taking this advantage today, being in the presence of you all, I would like to request the KPC also to not only allow admission of YouTubers, but also in collaboration with the Information and Public Relations Department, have some sort of regulation. Because for any facility, YouTubers, okay, there may be some very good ones, but at the same time, there are some who might lack credibility, or there may be some unscrupulous one who do not have the ethics, journalistic ethics. So KPC, in collaboration with IPR, can very well formulate some sort of guidelines or maybe some criteria for the YouTubers to also to function or to operate. Because nowadays, just about everybody has a mobile phone, and every mobile phone is a camera. Now, just because you have a camera doesn't mean that you are a journalist or you can start your own YouTube channel. But I think it'll be a good idea if KPC comes up with, be the pioneer and comes up with some sort of guidelines or take up the matter with the relevant department, that is IPR. And now that we're on the threshold of celebrating our Silver Jubilee. And like the President Alice said, their tenure is coming to an end in July. If the House agrees, I'd like to put my humble suggestion to let the present tenure continue till the Silver Jubilee, so that instead of a smooth transition before the Jubilee, let a smooth transition take place after we have a grand Silver Jubilee celebration. Thank you. God bless.